All right, how is it going, my magnificent sons of bitches? Now, probably not a lot of you watch the mainstream media, and ultimately, at the end of the day, I really don't blame anybody who has so far, because I think it's like, whenever you're talking about the mainstream media, I think that it's really, at the end of the day, only like 1% of the population that really trust the mainstream media and any narratives that they give. So, at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure that most of the people that are sub to me, what little there are on this channel since my main channel got deleted, probably don't watch it. But, this is going to be a really quick video because it's going to be really quick response. Ultimately, it's this big Trump is getting arrested and the banks are failing and collapsing and fucking blah that they pass out in the media. The only problem is that they're not able to fearmonger like they used to. They're desperate. They're looking for an audience. So they have to sit there and stage these little events and whatnot and say, oh, these banks are going to go under and Donald Trump and it's the end of the world. You know what I'm saying? And ultimately, this is a bunch of, people in these, secret societies that stage all this stuff to give people the illusion that, oh my God, this is the, New World Order is the Antichrist and this is the apocalypse, which mind you that we're probably balls deep into right now, but they don't understand the Bible. And neither do most of the people that go ahead and give this any kind of real legitimacy. So whenever we're looking at right now, and just take this in consideration because I want you to stop and think about this. If you're any kind of Republican, if you're, any kind of Trump supporter, you go back and look at Trump's history. Trump, of course, he went ahead and implemented mandates. He was pushing for red flag laws. He was ultimately, he did a lot of shit for the left. He never repealed any of the propaganda bills. Then you go back and look at the Joe Biden administration. And I can tell you right now, with the current administration with Joe Biden in there in office, and the Republicans in charge of the Congress, right now the Democrats are looking more and more fucked. Because you think about all the shit that's been accomplished under Joe Biden's administration. Take what they say, throw it to the side, stop watching the mainstream media. They're never going to feed you any real narratives. Just, I want you to sit there and think about it. Ever since Joe Biden got into office, ultimately you have the Roe v. Wade being overturned. It's pretty, what a lot of people would say, conservative issue right there. That was accomplished under this administration. I know that he passed the Inflatable Reduction Act, and that was definitely one of these socialist fucking woke bullshit, things that says, oh, this is how we gotta take away all the currency that we just printed out, that Trump printed out with the stimulus. He helped with that and whatnot, inflating our fucking deficit to fucking $31 trillion. But there is a flat tax proposal being passed right now, which is a pretty conservative position right there. You have all these schools right now. You're having parents' rights bills. You're having legislation being passed in Florida with the whole "don't say gay" bill that they like to sit there and talk about, holding our institutions to a higher standard. You have Texas going ahead and pushing a plan that would probably ultimately appease school choice with charter schools and whatnot. So you have a lot of states making up legislations to help facilitate their states, which tend to spread around nationally. And then you got shitholes like California, which are dilapidating into a shithole. Most of the complaints that you get are from these left-leaning states because they can't get out of their own fucking way. However, states like Florida and states like Texas are now being able to succeed at their own pace with their own people, with their own ideologies being implemented and whatnot. So ultimately, whenever we're talking about the 2024 election, I don't see why, I would be tempted to vote for Trump, given his track record from his last presidency over Joe Biden. Seems like Joe Biden's gotten more accomplished for conservative positions than Trump ever has. You could sit there and say the tax cuts, and I'll go ahead and give him that. There's some stuff that Trump did that I liked. He made it okay to criticize the mainstream media, which is basically essentially dead right now. Like I said, whenever you look at the fucking January 6th committee, and this had to be a wake-up call for any of the Democrats, but when you look at the January 6th committee and the 20 million people that were watching it, that's only 6% of the population. Whenever they go ahead and run their poll on New York Times, runs their little poll, or MSNBC, or whoever run the damn poll, they come to the conclusion that only 23% of the people who take in the media, only 23% of them think that the media is trustworthy and unbiased. The rest of the other fucking 77%, or 77%, don't think that the media is trustworthy or unbiased. So I meant, it's a staggering rate, because whenever you go ahead, you're not taking the 23% of the 321 million people that live, or 331 million people that live in the United States. That poll is based on the 20 million that actually watch the mainstream media, because they're not going to take any media polls. So you're only looking about 1% of the United States that actually goes ahead and considers the mainstream media as a reliable source of information. The rest of us have kind of already moved on. I think, you look at the Gen Xers are, maybe make up like about 10% of the media base, and they only watch it because they use it to critique, to criticize, to go ahead and put material, to go ahead and repudiate their bullshit that they're fucking slinging. Then you got the millennials who will end up watching mainstream media, and they watch, it's only like about 10%. Most of them are watching anime porn or playing video games, but like about 10% of the millennials will watch mainstream media simply to get talking points, so they could go ahead and put it on their networks and act like they're really accomplishing something or doing something, or like they have some sort of foreknowledge or knowledge about what's going on, when at the end of the day, they look just as cringy and, shillish as the mainstream media does, that gets mocked by Gen X. And Gen Z has they would rather see us, the Gen Xers and the millennials go ahead and debate back and forth. That's about them. They don't even want to go in and watch corporate media. So like it's like 80% of their shit is the fucking boomers who they all criticize and wish they would just go away. About 80% of that is just still the base that watches mainstream media. So at the end of the day, I think that even the Democrats that are currently in office right now totally understand that they're going to have to change a lot of these positions from being ultra progressive socialism, wokeism, fucking Justin Trudeau type, fucking Obama type, Bernie Sanders type of shit, to being more pragmatic, being more, start moving to the right, because this communism shit just isn't going to work. And they already understand that if it does dilapidate into any kind of real civil war, then they're fucked, because it's going to be a one-sided civil war. It doesn't matter. The shit's not going to divide evenly. The divide and conquer tactic, it's going to divide on one fucking side, and that's going to be everybody against the marginalized commies that are the left, which, like I said, is not, at the end of the day, it's not that much. Even the more socialist viewing Bernie supporters, the blue hair feminazis that a lot of people think that seem to be, out of touch for the most part, a lot of them are starting to go ahead and understand that a lot of the shit that the left is doing is pushing it to the extreme. Whenever you got commentators going ahead and pushing for child pedophilia on TV, and then you have these commentators line up right behind it and stuff like that, well, then we know that it's not in our best interest. And I think that even a majority of the people who would have initially been for like your Bernies and, you know, are not going to be for that. Even your people in the LGBTQ are not going to be for that. They feel like they're being used. They feel like they're being patronized, much like the predominantly black vote that you were depending on. So, yeah, that's where we're at right now. I just wanted to go ahead and do this video saying, yeah, you know, why do you think that Trump has done that would make you vote for him? You know, ultimately, I'd prefer Ron Paul or a true conservative in there. But essentially, at the end of the day, I don't know why I wouldn't have a, you know, puppet much like Biden, who's not going to be able to really accomplish anything, and then just keep on tearing away at the fabric of the, you know, the Democrat agenda and whatnot. Because apparently, and I don't have anything against, you know, homosexuals. Honestly, I don't see the point. I don't think that you can make a case for gay marriage. I can certainly go ahead and understand why I would be against gay marriage as a conservative, from a conservative perspective, why gay marriage isn't conducive to society as a whole as it pertains to like getting benefits. As far as like domestic partnerships, I don't care if they live together, do whatever they want to in life. I mean, you know, ultimately it's, you know, your life. You know, you have to suffer the consequences for any kind of actions that you do. So I'm not going to sit there and judge you based on that. However, with that being said, it appears that they're, you know, that's going to be the next thing that will probably end up being targeted. And it certainly won't be the Republicans. It'll be the fucking, the extreme left Democrats that are just inept, you know, that just take the position and run with it, because how dare they, you know, have a wrong right side of a position and go ahead and make an elaborate argument. No, ultimately that'll be next, because ultimately the gay marriage is already being attacked. You know, they're already making provisions to go ahead and put it into place with the transgender, are those drag queen story hour stuff, and giving transgenders access to certain locations and yada 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 yada. You know, you give them an inch and they take a mile. And this is where you're going to start to see society as a whole. It doesn't matter what the fucking politicians say, where society as a whole is being pushed to go ahead and go against the gay marriage bill. Like I said, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It's not my hill to die on, you know, for the gay marriage shit. It's, you know, ultimately, you know, it's, you know, not my hill to die on. I'm not going to sit there and say that I totally 110% agree with it. I definitely don't agree with them being, you know, with the homosexual people or transgenders or anything being able to adopt. You know, I definitely think that that's where I do draw a line at. But as far as if they want to be together and be married and live a life with each other, that I don't really much care. However, I would probably consider a domestic partnership would be, you know, just as, you know, just as fair as, you know, why do you have to be married? Why do you have to claim marriage? Is it because of the benefits? You don't need the benefits. Benefits are for those people who are about to start a family. Homosexuals can't start a family. And so that's just the argument from a conservative perspective. So you should not be entitled to the same benefits as a traditional married couple. It doesn't matter if you think, oh, well, it's equality. We need equity. No, we don't. We don't need equity. We don't at all. We need equality, where you have the right to an opportunity, but fucking marriage isn't even a constitutional right. So, anyways, yeah, that's it. I just wanted to go ahead and do a really, really quick video and talk about, you know, ultimately is you know, really at the end of the day, Joe Biden has probably done more for conservatives than Donald Trump has. And especially if this flat tax bill, if the fair tax bill that's being proposed, and a lot of these parents' rights bills that are being proposed right now, they're talking about abolishing the ATF. These should be right-wing fixed positions. So if these, then why wouldn't I go ahead say, hey, let's just go ahead and keep the Congress Republican. Let's go ahead and maybe change the Senate. We can go ahead and change the Senate out, but let's go ahead and keep in Slow Joe Biden in there, and maybe we can get even more shit accomplished for, right-leaning, or I won't even call it right-leaning, more sane-leaning policies to be passed to go ahead and fix the infrastructure that has clearly been breaking with the government assuming too much fucking power. Anyways, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and stop this video. You people tell me what you think. You like, sub, do the shit YouTube tells me to do to get over, and for now, I'm out.